At the Shirai Academy, the director Luam explains to the students that after 3 years of study, they have all acquired theoretical knowledge about the profession system. Today is the day that your professions will be chosen and your destinations will be determined. The director informs them that he will spare them the formalities but hopes that everyone reach the level of your veteran SHK Xing. Becoming the pillars of the human race. Suk Xing is a holy magician of level 80. Our protagonist Limu, born in this world years ago, finally he will receive your profession. This world resembles an RPG game full of dungeons, secret areas, and monsters too. Released after selecting professions, he can gain experience by exploring places and defeating monsters too. Increasing their level and honing their skills, the countless sages of the human race strive to create a safe space where everyone can live without threat from monsters. Thanks to this effort, society is stable and combat classes are the most popular, followed by support and subsistence classes. Combat and support are divided into 5 categories: low, medium, high, rare, and legendary. However, no one with the legendary profession has appeared in Shy City in the last 10 years. Soon after, the director announces that the transformation cycle is about to be activated and that the students' time is coming. Receive their professions. Joy, Limu's friend, asks him which profession he would like to receive after not receiving it. Limu Joyang's response then explains that he would like to become a knight and that he was quite confident that he would receive this profession, and that, after obtaining this profession, he plans to protect girls, especially. Joyang also mentions to Limu that he Shashu has great potential for get good jobs. One of the students questions why Joyang is talking to Limu and explains that he was a great idiot and hadn't even responded. He suggested that perhaps this might be because Muyu's grades were a little better than theirs, but that wasn't enough of a reason for him to express himself that way, so he wants Limu to get a subsistence class in the profession selection, and Young So asks him not to say this and explains that actually Limu is not very communicative. It's not out of malice, it's just because he doesn't like to talk much. Before starting the selection of professions, the director has a conversation with Master Jang Qian, apologizing to him for bothering him. That say Jay Qian is the level formation master. 42. Liu did not believe that the elderly man was a formation ek, as he was a support profession. Rare, the principal starts talking about how he would call students' names to receive their professions. He then explains that as names are called, students must enter the circle of transformation. Then he announces the first name to be called was the student Chudar. As soon as the student entered the circle, received the profession of farmer, left him quite disappointed, as he did not expect to receive a class of subsistence. Even more, as a farmer, the other students start to talk about how the farming profession can be a good choice. They mention that he can become a great farmer, maybe even a farmer. Holy, it would not be so bad among all classes of farmer. Subsistence is not so unfavorable. Followed more students receive subsistence-only classes, leading Master Jang to comment that that year's students were receiving very common professions. The director then agrees and mentions that there is no moment at all rare profession. Saw the emergence of Master Zong, asks the director how long has it been since the academy presented a profession rare, and it would be interesting if a high-level combat class appeared. The director then explains that in fact, only 2 rare professions appeared in Shirai City each year, and the chance of that happening was very low. Soon after, the student Shashu, a student from the first Shirai Academy, was announced, so she looks at Limu and declares that she will show him who the real genius of the academy is. So she thinks that even though they are both considered a genius at the academy, Lingyu was always in front of her, but she hadn't given up. Sh Jangal Vesti Shui comments that the boy has potential. The academy director asks why he said that, so Jang explains that her mental strength was more than twice that of an average person, indicating that she could become a mage as soon as possible. Director then explained that this class was a higher-level combat class and that she would become a specialist mage. Would certainly have a rare profession. When Chashu enters the circle, the strong explosion occurs. Both Mes Chang and director state that it was indeed a rare profession. Then Shashu receives a combat class of elemental mage. A rare profession. Students soon start to comment that Chashu is incredible and that she really finally got a class. Rare combat type, an elemental mage, which is a very powerful class that is said to be at a higher level. The only spell launched by a divine elemental mage can destroy the entire city of Shirai, which was already expected as it was. A genius, and her reputation was well-deserved. Leg Jiang Ilu Chashu for his talent, and Shi Prat thanked Chashu's friend, commented on how amazing it was that she got a class of rare combat, and expressed the certainty that this time she would overcome the irritating Limu. Soon afterwards Limu was called. The principal asks M. Jiang what he thought of the student. M. Jiang then replies that except for Limu's calm expression, there was nothing special about him. The principal then explained that there were two geniuses in his Chashu school who second place, and Li Moyu was considered the first. M. Jiang then emphasized that performance in the gym and the rarity of profession are not always connected, and that the director should have. Then the director looked at Limu and expressed the desire that he gain a profession. Rare Limu enters the circle and something extraordinary happens. A power huge erupts from the circle, leaving everyone scared. The sky darkens and a freezing wind blows, leaving everyone perplexed since the temple's prediction had not indicated any of this. The director is left without understanding and frightened by this scene in common because he had never witnessed anything like this in his academy while everyone was scared. The Master Jiang remains calm and observes the situation, recognizing that this was a vision of the Limu profession. Then begins to wonder about the meaning of this frightening vision and wonder if this could undermine the professions. Suggesting then he wonders if it really is the profession that will be focused on combat or support for Shulsi. That does not believe that it will lose again to Lio, that this vision is much greater than yours when you changed your profession. Scared students point out something coming from the dark clouds, seeing that they are in panic because they are living dead, and they said that the clouds are full of living dead. Tashu is not impressed because she knows that just one vision of the Limu profession, and she is disappointed because she knows that she can't fight something of this level and who will probably come in second place again. Limu, then you see that you have received the profession of necromancer, a unique and secret combat class profession, as when he sees his profession he sees that since he has received a profession unique, this means that he is the only one who has this necromancer profession in the world, and unless he dies he will see someone with the same profession as him, and that this unique and secret profession is not only rarer than the rare profession, it is also more common than legendary professions. Some students get very excited and comment that Liu is so powerful that he got a secret and unique profession, and says he was very lucky, or that the circle has some defect. But there were also others who didn't like it very much and comments that the secret profession is not a powerful exception. Many people throughout history had secret professions were not good, and that secret professions are only rare, but girls are not necessarily good. Then he says that the vision of his profession was so scary and asks what. Due to his profession being a necromancer, he will have to deal with dead people all the time. So another student comments that Li Moyu doesn't even talk to his friends. Taking care of his manners will be perfect for him. Limu then comments that it is exclusive to his profession, that it was much better than he had imagined. While he was needing to leave, M. Jiang called him and asked him to wait for the moment. Limu asked how he could help, and Master Zong then explains that he had never seen a profession unique to this question, whether Limu can demonstrate his skills. Lim, when showing his stats, have come informing his name, profession, and what level he was, and his strength was 10 agility, 10 spirit, 20 physical, 20, and who did not have any equipment, and who had 0 out of 10 free space for summons, and also he could summon the written level 1 warrior, which if the warrior skeleton was of the black iron level, and that there was the following ant: black iron, then bronze, then silver, gold, diamond, legendary, and lastly divine. Its soul flame is level 1. This ability burns the target's soul, causes damage of burn, and the power depends on your spiritual power and skill level. Limu soon realizes that his spiritual power is stronger I attacked asking if he would like to counterattack, and if he didn't choose within 10 seconds the skeleton would automatically perform a counterattack. Mu then asks the skeleton warrior to maintain his position, leaving Mess Jiang impressed with the creature. He reflects on the fact that he is a level 52 professional while the Limu is only level 1, but even so his evocation is hostile against him. He recognizes that the attributes of the warrior skeleton are not extraordinary considering the level 1 of Limu, and wonders about true strength of the Limu profession. Then he speculates that Limu's invocations could become even more powerful in the future. Zheng then thanks Limu for the demonstration and expresses the desire that he will become stronger with time. Limu then does not respond and simply moves away with his skeleton, leaving everyone around scared by his presence. When Limu approaches Joyong, he asks if the skeleton is powerful and asks permission to touch it. Limu then responds that the skeleton must be more stronger than him. Soon after, it is announced that the next one will enter the circle. He says goodbye. Liu mentions that she will take up his profession and talk to him later. With Liu, remove your summon. Then a notification appears informing you that there is now one of 10 gyro skeletons in the space. Summons. Li then realizes that this is how summons work, that summon slots can store certain invocations so that he can summon without spending spiritual energy, and the capacity of these spaces increases by according to your level. You then remember that when he changed profession he saw a real necromancer killing a dragon, and that he believes that one day he too will be able to defeat dragons in a matter of seconds against Li Muyu, who became the Knight of Sword and Shield as he had said previously, and that now they can fight together. Jiang promises his Limu shield and states that anything that wants to hurt Limu will have to go through he first. Liu comments that Joyong had said it would be the opposite, but understands. Joyong then explains that there was said the opposite just to tease Limu. Everyone can have their professions. The director explains to the students that no matter what profession they received, the academy will offer the opportunity to improve, and encourages everyone to continue getting good grades in the tests that will be carried out in a week to enter a good, larger educational institution. In addition, he informs that the dungeon for newcomers in Shirai City will be open the next day and asks everyone to try to improve, and then suggests that they go home to rest while Joyong and Limu are on their way. From home, Joyong explains that marbles for beginners take monsters from levels 1 to 8. So they are very difficult, being safer than the outside world. Soon after, Chashu asks Limu to wait, and explains that he would like to compete with him again, and proposes comparing the results of the exams to see who is smarter. Lu So accepts the challenge, and Chashu promises not to lose this time and that he will do his best. That he has lost today and will not give up. Going home, Limu looks at the picture of his family and tells his grandmother that finally got his profession, highlighting that she is also super rare. He asks his sister to wait for him because he will enter the Xiajing Academy soon after. Someone knocks on his door. When he answers Limu, he sees that it is the director. Director gives Limu some belongings and starts to remember that last year only Limu Lim's older sister Horan passed the Xiajing Academy. She had promised to take care of Limu before of his sister leaving after delivering the goods. The director says goodbye and informs that there will be a test in the dungeons on the day. Next, AC advice in Limu rest at midnight. A message appears for Limu informing that the system is carrying. Liu is confused without understanding what is happening until another message appears indicating that the Afri Tiao Limu awakened the profession of necromancy. The message describes that the prerequisites have been met and that the better talent system is being assimilated, along with extracting information from the world and optimizing skills. Congratulating Limu for awakening the unique divine level talent. He also awakened passive hab transfer damage. Passive ability transfer damage allows all damage received by the mage to be transferred to. In addition, the effects of all skills are increased by 5 times. Mu is impressed by having gained a passive ability and considers it incredible. After summoning his skeleton again, he realizes that a more powerful skeleton appears with more and much better attributes. El Moyu notices that the skeleton's attributes are 6 times larger than before. This leads Limu to believe that with this ability he can become stronger and reversible. The next day, in beginner-level dungeons, Jiang asks to Limu if he would like to form a team. Limu just shakes his head, saying he's not interested. Angry Joyong asks if Limu is underestimating his strength. reforming that he was being sincere when he summoned him to his team. He states that he won't stop insisting until Limu gives him a good reason for not wanting to be his partner in. Limu's answer explains that forming a team would only slow things down, and that it's easier to gain levels alone if you find the discussion between them agrees with Limu. She points out that the experience would be divided equally between the two if form a team, and according to veterans the best tactic is to go alone before reaching level 10 and only then form a team. Then director intervenes, explain with the exception of Xia Shul Moyu all combat classes will enter the marmor with support. He emphasizes that it is not advisable that they go alone as eventually we'll discover that support is essential. Some students question why XOL Moyu didn't need director support. Clarifies that other students still do not have tricks or skills that allow them to advance alone. They too mentions that in Xia Shu's case she wants to enter Zhang University and she needs to level up quickly, and she is an elemental mage who is there for him, and Master Zhang doesn't know what her skills will be like in Mamura, so if he wants to, he can go with the support. Hear this, the supports comment that they are afraid of his skeletons, and so he explains it to me. To the director, who also plans to enter Xiajing University and prefers to enter Bambas alone. The director, listening to his decision, explains Limel that it is very difficult to get into Xing University, that if he really intends to enter you need to be at least at level 12 or KIZ to go through the admission process without difficulties. Mentions that his sister Li Mohan entered university at level 16. The principal emphasizes that reaching level 12 in 1 week is not easy, and when it comes to level 15 things become even more complicated. He points out that level the maximum number of monsters in the beginner marmor is only 8, and it is practically not possible to reach level 12, and besides, there are only other requirements that will be revealed during the entrance exam. When I hear all this and simply state that trusts in his abilities, the director considers that Limo has a secret profession and that perhaps he really has the chance to achieve this. The director allows Limu to proceed with his decision and comments to Limu about who it will be the fastest junner required. Liu says nothing, and Shashu interprets this like yes, I'm Muyu, so comment that Shashu is very competitive. Finally everyone joins the marmor fight. Limu beginner remembers that he consumed 10 spirit points to summon the skeleton the night before after meditating. For one night he recovered 40 spirit points, which allows him to summon 4 more skeleton warriors after summon them. Limu orders them to go ahead and find the monsters. As you start to eliminate the monsters, Limu wins experience and realizes that each monster eliminated by the skeleton warriors increases your experience by 1%, and calculates that you will need to eliminate 100 monsters to level up in less than an hour. Limu finally manages to increase his level. Improving his attributes, he can now summon 2 more level 2 skeleton warriors whose attributes are considerably better than the previous ones. Their total level of skeletons increases to 8, increasing in efficiency of eliminating monsters and experience received over time. Limu finds more strong monsters that provides more experience. He realizes that monsters can escape their skeletons, so he decides to test your active skill AA Flame. With this skill improved 5 times more, eliminates the level 2 cat in a matter of seconds, continues to level up quickly, reaching level 3, being able to summon 3 more skeleton warriors. This also increases the level of the monsters encountered, resulting in even more experience. For him, he realizes that the time inside the DJ is initially 12 hours and that he has already reached level 4 and only for hours. Whoever maintains this pace realizes that it will take less than an hour to climb to the next level, allowing him explore around Xia Shirai to face higher level monos outside the Zhou. The director is talking to Senior Xia Dongyang, the leader of the Xia family and Xiao's father. Director asks if he came to visit his daughter Shashu. Then her father expresses his gratitude to the director for taking care of his daughter over the years. The director humbly responds that he didn't do much, praising her intelligence and dedication. Shui, he explains to her father that her profession as an elemental magician is one of the best. Sui's father regrets not able to be present in her transformation due to his busy commitments, but emphasizes that he could not miss her first Dangel, and mentions that veterans with rare professions reached level 5 when they left from Gel, and believes that his daughter will achieve the same feat. Shutan then comments that Shashu didn't reach the level 5. On the first day it will be difficult for her to enter Xiajing University, so he wonders about Limu Yi's level. If he will be able to achieve because he believes it is a secret profession, he should not be left behind. The director then begins to explain that every time someone enters Dango, a counter is activated and the person will be expelled after the 12-hour period. This allows everyone to know what level has been reached after this time by returning to Limu within the danger. Limu realizes that his skeletons can move up to 0 meters away from him, allowing him to level up. Without making much effort, he notices that it has been 7 hours since he entered the Zhou and still not against the monster of level 8. He starts to wonder what level the others are at, because then the Manu is attacked with the strong strength and thrown away. By activating your damage transfer passive ability, all your damage is transferred to his skeletons. Then he realizes that he finally found the level 8 monster, a vine tree long that normally attacks any living creature that approaches, and there orders its skeletons to attack the tree, but is surprised to realize that it is not eliminated with just one attack, and Mew then realizes that his skeletons need 5 attacks to eliminate the level 8 monster, which will significantly reduce the level gain rate. Looking around Limu, he notices the presence of several long tsepa trees and realizes that this place has become a level farm shrine, especially suitable for him. Sometime after, outside the Dangan, everyone gets impressed to see someone leaving the dungeon ahead of time. They explain that to leave the dungeons of time is necessary to have been injured or passed through the forest guarded by level 8 monsters. Only then do they realize. When he left, the director asks what happened and why he left early. Limu explains that he had already eliminated all the monsters, and the director is in disbelief because Limu had already reached level 7 in just 10 hours. Limu explains that there were few monsters inside the Zhou. If it weren't for that, he would have reached level 8. Then he looks at the director and asks if he can explore the surroundings of Sharai City in search of more monsters. Director is surprised to realize that Limu wants to go out and explore Shai's surroundings. He is in disbelief. This is the first time I've heard of someone who had eliminated all the monsters in Mamer Beginner and Beyond. Of this in just 10 hours, the director wonders how Limu managed this and begins to wonder if this was possible due to his necromancer class. Shortly afterwards, the director will ask Limu to approve his departure and who will give permission for him to go. However, the director asks Limu to rest a little until everyone leaves of the dungeon so he can dismiss everyone at once. Shashu's father, Elv El Moyu, talking to the director. He asks if everything is okay with him. The director, with a smile on his face, responds that Limu eliminated all the monsters in the room, level 8, and completed the beginner Mamer. For this reason, Limu had already left, leaving everyone in disbelief at what the director was saying. The director even adds that it was expected of a secret profession. One of the men comments that in fact in this case the necromancer surpassed all known rare classes. To say that the class necromancer is at the level of a legendary profession. Tiham also comments that he doesn't know how powerful a profession is. Profession of legendary rank, but are you sure that a profession of rare rank would not have such efficiency? Reflect on how the necromancer can be so powerful. Imagine what will happen when Limu reaches levels higher. The director then comments that Limu will have a bright future and that they don't need to worry. Furthermore, he mentions that Xinjiang Universal will be a big headache for Limoyu if he manages to gain admission. Shashu's father comments that his daughter has always been competitive since she was a child, and he fears this will have a big impact about her. The director, smiling, tells Shashu's father that he didn't know that because he doesn't spend much time at home. But Limu's results have always been better than Shashu's. She has been second best for 3 years. managed to beat Limu has already reached level 5, which is probably the standard record for beginners. She was looking forward to seeing Limu's expression when she came out, however, when Limu was sitting Yasi and she is startled and asks when he left. When looking at Limu's status, she realizes that he is already at level 7. What made me scared was, you wouldn't believe he managed to reach that level so quickly. Did you think he saw His father goes towards him and asks him what he is doing there. Getting into the car, and ACH is already quite sad because couldn't get it out of his head that El Moyu was already at level 7 and defeated her again. His father asks if Shashu is competing with Limu, and she comments that it has been 3 years in a row that he has beaten her. Shashu's father asks if she would like him to help her, but she is irritated and says that this is something personal to her and that she will not lose it to Limu forever. Shashu's father smiles and says everything is fine, but if she needs anything she can count on him. Mentions that Limu eliminated all the level 8 monsters and his DJ in 10 hours. Zash is incredulous and asks, how did he manage to kill all the level 8 monsters since she couldn't even find them as the lowest level? The highest she saw was 7, so she asks if the Limono came out with 2 hours left. She comments that if it's still there were more Manchos, he had probably reached level 8. Returning to Limu, Gang is crying, asking, how did he manage to reach level 7 and receive a response from Limu? Jiang Shora and asks Limu to take him next time. Then he responds that he will take it, leaving Jiang happy, so Jiang says that the two have an agreement and that he will be waiting by Limu at the school entrance early in the morning the next day. Gag asks the principal where Limu is because he still had not appeared. The director informs that Limu went around Shahi. Angry, Jiang complains that Lu cheated and threatens to confront him when he meets the director, then advises Jiang to give up, stating that he is not a match for Limu. Shisha Limu Empire Exchange Center is checking whether any missions are compatible with him. While he examines a stone, a message appears indicating that identification is in progress after a thorough check. Successful. Limu's data appears stating that he is a citizen of the Xenia Empire and that he has been granted access to the exchange center of the Empire. His contribution is 0 and the permission is level 1 FO. When analyzing the missions, find an excellent reward. However, when examining in more detail, you realize that the reward is high and is accompanied by extreme difficulty, but it is a level 14 mission. He also realizes that the dangers are categorized in normal, nightmare, and hell, the nightmare difficulty being more difficult than normal. However, the hellish difficulty is something that normal professions don't have the slightest chance of completing, and comes to the conclusion that this mission is still very challenging for him. If Daida does not get involved with this mission, I choose to leave to explore living at on the outskirts of Shirai. Upon arriving at the guard post, the guard analyzes the Limu data and asks about the profession necromancer and gym that Limu attends because he is surprised how someone at level 7 got permission to leave. From City P inform Limu that his exit permit has been activated and that he is now able to travel freely between the cities of the Empire. Xenia Guard also warns about the presence of many monsters out there and asking him to be careful, especially at night. He emphasizes that if he finds someone danger, it is important that he returns to the city because his life is more important. Limu thanks you for the information and assures that he will be careful. When leaving, Moyu realizes that the wall is not just a simple barrier and the internal and external environments are completely different. He hears distant roars of beasts and smells blood hovering in the air. While exploring, he realizes he is being watched. Quickly, Limu summons his skeleton warrior and orders him to attack a gobble that approaches the skeleton warrior with the 375 defense, and attack tribute proves that being much stronger than a level 10 goblin, the skeleton easily defeats the goblin, leaving Limu impressed with his strength. But goblin approaches, but Limu manages to eliminate them one by one. He realizes that although a level 10 goblin is not a significant challenge, if he can maintain That increased by 120 points, totaling 300. He remembers that he was informed that there would be a large increase in attributes upon reaching the level 10, but for a mage like him the biggest change was in the Limu spiritual power. Is also surprised to have reached the level so quickly. His skills were also strengthened, and the warrior skeletons are now at bronze level with even higher attributes, reaching 1500 in all. Skeleton Warrior gained a new active ability. Now Limu has a bronze level skeleton warrior. He realizes that he can freely explore the area while exposing. He notices that he has already eliminated all the monsters in the nearby and decides to move away. The arrow hits his shoulder, but his passive ability transfers the damage to the skeleton. A girl runs to him, raising suspicion as to whether she was responsible for the attack. Limu realizes that she is an assassin and deduces that the attack was probably carried out by an archer. When the girl spends 2 men appear in front of Limu and he realizes that they were the ones who hit him. Limu, so he comments that they didn't will be able to catch that killer. One of the men, the wizard, comments that the killer managed to escape the archer. Then he asks Ali Moyu if he saw a girl in black clothes passing by, and Mew then says he was hit by one of their arrows and asks them to apologize. Archer apologizes and is surprised to see that Limu is still standing after the impact. The wizard asks if the weird warrior next to Limu is a summoning of a creature undead. He comments that only someone with a criminal tendency awakens a profession as displeasing as that of a summoner of the dead. Then he suggests that Limu is not a good-natured person, so he intervenes and asks that the magician stop. Then the two continue on their way. Lee observes that the 2 men did not decide to fight, and he comments that they were lucky because they would have regretted it if they had attacked. He continues eliminating the monsters and realizes that the experience gain started to decrease from level 10 onwards. The amount of experience needed to level up tripled, and you will need around 5,000 goblets to gain the level. Late Seerer approaching Limu realizes that he will not have enough time to return and will have to spend the night in the forest. He understands that if he wants to enter Xinjiang University, he has to work harder than others, especially considering the challenge of gaining levels at a slower pace after level 10. Dusk Limu realizes that he is making rapid progress in eliminating monsters and figures he will probably reach TR level by tomorrow. The next day, however, he is not sure if he will be able to reach level 15 the next day, as the level gain speed also decreases reaching level 15, as it reflects that considering the drop in speed. At most he can reach level 16 before needing to return if he wonders how his sister managed to reach the level so high, since she is one of the Selena of the Blades, a legendary profession. Mo noted that she can surpass him in the speed of gain levels, but suspects that she may have done something specific. He considers the possibility that she may have formed a team with other people and made a raid on the Joe of Difficulty and Nightmare. They remembered that she came back to the injured city after such an event. Mew concludes that this could be the reason and decides to further investigate the situation. Next day in Mew, there was a sound of someone stepping on a branch behind the tree, and one wonders what someone would be doing at such a time, as they wouldn't. There are a lot of people who would farm level in the middle of the night, so he believes someone is probably lost. A girl who had been Limu appears and asks if he has food. He gives the girl a potato and she devours it. Extremely hungry when Limu watches her, he sits down a little scared. After drinking water, the girl asks Limu's name, but he remains silent. The girl notices that he likes to talk little and suggests that they reveal their identities to each other. Another and Moyu agrees, but soon after the girl's identity fails, leaving the girl scared. Notices that his name is their Moyu and his level is 10, and his occupation is a necromancer. She comments that she has never heard of this class and finds it strange. She remembers seeing a skeleton next to Limu earlier and asks if that was the summoning. Him teaching that summoning the Ma and asks for Limu a skill again do it Limu. Discovers that the girl's name is Ninji and that she is a level 19 leftover assassin. But that doesn't worry him much. Limu then they both realize that there was someone else arriving. Moyu realizes that the skeletons detected 3 men approaching, probably trying to surround them. No one then comments that they don't get tired and that they are following her. Because of a medium rank skill scroll she says they are after her because of this and that they don't give up. No one then says goodbye to Limu. Then an arrow comes towards her almost hit and a cycle appears on the ground revealing Limu and Naiji incite the archer. And realizes that that arrow is an arrow that marks and that this is a problem. Then Limu realizes that it is a skill. Against stealth this skill will mark the target making it easy to hit it making it impossible to enter the target. Stealth mode being very effective against assassin and I show that it uses stealth skill. Lu then realizes that those men came well prepared. Magan says that they have nowhere to run this time and that he knew that the 2 went together, cunning assassin and the malicious summoner of Moraes, making a nice duo and says that Nimal has nothing to do with it and that she can give each of them a scroll each follow. On her way, the archer with a dark smile says that they would have agreed if she had done it sooner, not so much. Now they thought it was better to eliminate her. After all, the dead don't talk. No one will know that they have a medium rank skill scroll and guide. When she sees that they won't let them get away, tells Limu that she will try buy a little time and let him take the opportunity to escape Limu. So he asks, and you don't think that Limu is just a level 10 and you can't drag him into something that isn't your fault? Naiji tells Limu that she is a killer of the shadows and the night. It's her territory and she has her own ways of getting out of it, and Moyu comments that Naiji wouldn't be hiding in the middle of the day if she wasn't capable. It's because they're stronger than her. Besides, no one is marked and her stealth mode is useless. Parkio shouts that no more waiting. They won't waste any more time. He orders everyone to finish her off. The wizard raises his staff, says that he not only wants Naiji's life but also burns the dead man. He uses his lighting ability and he comments that the lighting ability is not only used to illuminate, it also wards off darkness, increasing the precision and power of its spells. But the important thing is that it is great against an assassin's stealth skills, and when she sees that she realizes that you will have to fight with all your strength. The archer and the knight and the wizard prepare to attack everyone at the same time. Tempo Muo Cal moment orders his skeleton warriors to appear. The wizard, upon seeing that, comments that this is a waste of time and summoning undead is disgusting, stating that the fireballs of a level 20 mage easily burns everyone, and asks El Moyu to run away. When trying to escape, no one realizes that she is trapped by spiritual lines and asks when she went that she had been arrested because she hadn't noticed. Kiro comments that he will use his triple shot with triple damage. No one, believing that it is the end, pushes El Moyu in an attempt to save him. Soon after, the beloved warriors. They put it in front of the shot, blocking all the damage. Chicks Nigia, scared when he saw this. One of the skeletons also started to on top of the knight, throwing the mag away. So you wonder how this is possible, because the ability identification indicates that the boy is only a level 10 necromancer. He shouts to the others not to get closer soon. He thinks he's a level 21 mage and this boy is only level 10. Why not manage to eliminate him? The others are also scared because their skills had no effect on the invocations of Limu, and since they have such high attributes, Limu are only at level 10. Then several floors appear at the around the knight and mage's archer, leaving them scared of what is happening. Soon they realize that they are being surrounded by a lot of skeletons, and Gu, also scared, asks if they are really the skeletons she had seen before, that they are powerful even in this state. She questions if they are really level 10 summons. Considering that the skills of an archer and a mage were unable to cause any damage against them, she asks how Limu can summon ending up easily eliminating a queer scared or seeing the elimination of his friend tries to escape, but he can't understand why he can't because he has a speed of 1000. He is unable to escape the skeletons. When analyzing, he realizes that the skeleton speed is 1500, which is higher than his. Then the archer realizes that it is impossible to escape, and he is scared because the night is approaching. Of him, resisting all the skeleton's attacks, and comments that he didn't think the knight had an ability. Of these, he goes on to say that this knight's signature ability for a brief period of time defense becomes extremely high. A level 20 knight who uses this skill is able to resist the attacks of a level 40 mage. Explains that proficiency in this skill makes the difference between one knight and another, and as if they were two individuals of the same class but completely different. A frightened knight comments that those who they are so scary, and if they knew they wouldn't have come with those men because they would lose their lives for a catch. Medium rank Miho is naughty and tells his skeletons to use his skills and doesn't let anyone escape. He thinks he can't let him escape because since he had eliminated one he would have to go all the way, and now the skeletons activated his ability and rage attack that causes damage of 200% of his current strength. Their strength is 1500. Warrior, upon seeing the skeletons activating skills, does not believe that they are also capable of using them right away. Defense is broken, resulting in his end. Limu remembers that his sister had given him advice, and whenever he does something, did without any hesitation. Naiji, after seeing all the dead, thinks Li Mu wasn't even shaken by Taro's eliminated Mu, then comments that when the professional dies the items are storage space and are dropped right away. Then Li Moyu, order your skeletons go towards them and check what you have by analyzing the skeletons. Finds a bronze quality Karm staff and grants an increase in the power of a mag's abilities by 5% available. After level 18, a bronze quality CIM battle bow is well found. The bow provides an increase in the power of archery skills by 5%. Available after level 18, a Khmer shield was also found that grants an increase in skill power. Defenses by 5% available after level 18, a sword of Karmai that gets a 5% power increase for skills that use magic attacks, also available after level 18. So explains Ali Moyu that these are the weapons that drop in the Jaja of the Org and Carmen Legion, and that it is a level 20 Jaja located in the outer area of the city of Shanghai, that those three must have made an incursion to it. Limon then comments, which are good items, but he believes that those men must also have some money when analyzing their warehouse. Li finds a skill scroll, so he suggests that this scroll must be worth 10,000 gold coins and that it is very expensive, so he is in doubt whether to use it or sell it. No one asks if Nimi I had never seen one. Even before there is a chance to acquire a skill he already has, it is also possible for him to acquire a new one. Skill is that Lim is unsure if he should really use it. No one asks if he is not thinking about sell. She keeps asking Slim is so desperate for money like that, and that it's just a rank scroll midfielder and isn't even a striker, and that he isn't worth much. He insists that Nimo uses the parchment after, and insists a lot that Limu using the parchment. Limu asks how to use it and responds that it is simple, you just need to speak to use the word. However, after Limu repeats the word, nothing happens, smiling, and says that he is speaking softly and that he needs to speak more willingly. However, Limo realizes that he is joking and that probably the scroll needs spiritual energy to be activated to inject energy. Spiritual, the scroll activates and is sad because Limu had discovered how to activate it and she could no longer provoke him. APS activate the slime scroll receives a new level 1 corpse explosion skill. This skill explodes a corpse and deals 10% damage to the health value of enemies within 1 of the Limu blast. Then realizes that having gained the new scroll skill was worth it, and Moon then explains that in the eyes of a necromancer, a corpse also has vital New skill Liu answers yes and comments that Limu has a pleasant voice, questions why he is so silent, considering it a waste, and Muyu notices that Ai is different from the other girls at the gym. Limu returns the compliment and comments that she also has a voice. Pretty girl leaving one embarrassed and thanks her and jokes that she knows she has a beautiful voice right after Ai gives El Muyu a box and says it is a gift for the compliment and for saving her life. After Limu opens the box, he finds an intermediate skill scroll. It can be activated between level 40 and 70 and there is a chance of receive an already acquired ability, and begins to explain how I got it. The scroll, she comments that she discovered a secret chest in the Legion Zhou walk to Carmen in the city of Shanghai. Then she explains that this chest appears in a way random and that she was very lucky in finding it. She got parchment to open the chest, but she had no idea that she was being watched by those men who were interested in stealing it, even though it wasn't that valuable, and declared that she wouldn't hand over the parchment easily. Then she explains that that's how those men chased her without rest everywhere, even after fleeing Shan City. Upon arriving in Shirai City, they continued to follow her insane for 2 days. Limu then Farala to 2. She almost died because of this scroll, and explains that if she suffered a critical attack she would automatically be teleported to far away. Even so, she thanks Limu for helping her because without him she would have been seriously injured. Mentions that she is very afraid of hurting herself, Limu, so she thinks that maybe she worried for nothing, considering that this girl must be from a rich family and has a type of treasure that was safe, and then says that now parchment is from Limu as a form of thanks. Then she asks if she still has something to eat, as she is very hungry, so Limu offers another potato to go. Limu see go eat. He asks if she had come to farm levels because observing her level he probably hadn't gone to the college, so he asks if it is correct, and then he asks Limu which college he intends to join. Limu responds that Xiajing University and says that Xiajing University is one of the best. She thinks that with these Limu skills must be able to enter any university, as there is no level 10 that can kill level 20 professionals with ease, and on top of that 3 of them at once. She concludes that this Limu can't. No one else should be able to get into Xjing's university, so he asks Limu that if he can get into Xiajing University he can't forget to go to Shinxian Tower. She informs him that his reward will be applied to the first challenge and encourages you to complete as many floors as possible in your first attempt. Asin Mayo, you can accumulate many points in Xiajing, and these points are equivalent to gold coins, and also explains that there is a creation seminar at Xiajing University and asks Limu to go if he can. A few minutes later, and tired falls asleep. Limu starts meditating to recover his spiritual energy in the next day, and wake up, ask Limu if he still has any more sweet potatoes. Limu gives some, but she comments that it's not enough because I would like it so much. She jokes, asking Limu to be a knight and give her all the sweet potatoes, so Limu says which he no longer has because he had already given them all to her, and Sri says that she believes in him. Then she comments that she will going because she is also trying to increase her level. She says they will meet there and asks for Limu increase their level quickly so they can form a team and level up together. After leaving, Limu comments, "It's time to test your new ability by using it on the corpses." A strong explosion occurs, destroying good part of the surrounding forest. Lim notes that this skill, enhanced with his talent, has a blast range significantly increased and covers 360 degrees angle without blind spots. It highlights that this technique is excellent as it eliminates corpses without leaving Raj, and assumes that the power of the explosion in the air pod it must be even bigger, so Limu comments that it's time to stop Shaimin's Daejo to test it. How much is on his way to Dangel. He thinks that after his skeleton warrior evolved from iron level to iron level bronze, it requires 70 points of spiritual power to normal, while the others look for knights in the elite team assigned to Joe in difficulty and nightmare. He already had a knight, a mag, and an assassin. They announced that they are in need of a healer and control support after Limu approaches the entrance with his skeleton. Some players are scared by the creature. When analyzing the difficulties, he realizes that although not there is hell difficulty, even on normal difficulty, all the monsters are a delight and several times stronger than those found outside the Danger. In addition to the nightmare difficulty, the elite monsters are even more improved, making the difficulty even greater. For normal difficulty, it is necessary to have a tank, a DPS, and a healer in the team. In nightmare difficulty, at least 5 people are needed, with 2 supports and 2 DPS in the formation. Soon after, the man approaches Limu and asks if the summoner and tries to see Limu's status, but is scared to see that the message appears informing that due to the use of a protective touch, the magic of detection doesn't work. Several people start asking Limo to join his team, commenting that they are needing a DPS, and Mu then comments that he was the one who brought him the touch of protection and that it helps a lot to avoid problems due to your level. I know very low. Lim then activate the nightmare difficulty and a message appears informing him that he must confirm if he wants to enter the difficulty. Then he grinds, confirms, and he is teleported, leaving everyone around impressed because he entered without needing help from anyone. No one to complete the dance at nightmare level. Then someone comments that this is very reckless since it is very dangerous and alone. This leaves everyone in doubt about the Limu level. They also mention that it was not possible to see their information like the level and classic, so they decide to wait and see if Limu really will be able to complete the dungeon, but some believe he is probably showing off and will return running like a coward, asking for help. Inside the Sharai limo, Mindanjo realizes that the smell of blood is very strong, and it seems that as soon as I left the area around it, the monsters will attack. When analyzing the level of the goblin, Limu realizes that he is at level 14 and indicates that he is an enhanced Elita monster. His attributes are several times greater than that the normal monsters he had faced. His strength and constitution are extremely high, indicating that his attack power and defense are quite high. Limu comments that a level 14 knight only has constitution in around 300 to 400 and that completely incomparable these monsters of Elita Prim lived. He also concludes that the common profession cannot go through a nightmare level dance at all, given the difficulty and strength of the monsters. Then, compared to his skeleton warrior, Limu realizes that the monster's abilities are still very low. Endido attack them. He moves on and orders his skeletons to eliminate the goal. He manages to finish it easily. Li Moyu gains 4,200 experience as a reward for eliminating the monster. Liu then comment that this experience is 10 times greater than the monsters of the same level outside the Joe, which means that killing the monster inside the Joe is equivalent to killing 10 monsters outside. Then Limu orders all his skeletons attack the monsters, taking just a few seconds to kill each one. He realizes that his speed increases level will be much faster than expected. Using this strategy, Liu orders all his skeletons to clean the entire area, leaving nothing behind. After eliminating them, Liu begins to receive drops and obtains 5 bones and 6 skins quickly by leveling up. Liu realizes that it only took 5 minutes to gain the new level. Limo realizes that after leveling up, your metal power had completely recovered, and now he can summon 4 more skeleton warriors that further increase more in the efficiency of gaining experience. His attributes also increased significantly, providing a general increase in his strength and abilities. Additionally, his talents have also improved, making him even more formidable. Inside Danger, Limo realizes that when he went up to level 11, his basic attributes had an improvement. Previously, each level increased your strength, agility, and constitution by 10 points, but now this increase So he thinks maybe she was here. Knew the answer. Limu starts finding new monsters like the King Wolf of the Mine, a level 15 elite boss at the See the attributes of the boss. Limu realizes that the first boss already has so much power, the final boss must be much more stronger than he imagined. Limu comments that although the Wolf King's attributes are greater than his warriors' skeletons, unfortunately the wolf is alone. He believes that his skeletons can eliminate him easily, and Mu then orders his skeletons to attack the Wolf King after the skeletons approach. The wolf uses his roar, but the warriors manage to resist the slime attack. He comments that due to the constitution of the warriors, they can bear the Wolf King's owner for only a short period and must eliminate him quickly, so he orders the skeleton warriors use their ability to increase damage to attack the wolf with more intensity. You comments that the bigger the monster, the easier it is for its skeletons to attack in greater numbers. He also mentions that the power of the skeleton warrior's abilities is average, but the damage reflection effect is useful. However, the wolf releases towards a cave, making Limu wonder why he is running away with doubts about what it's happening. Limu orders his skeleton warriors to return soon after several sage wolves from the mine. They all appear at level 14. Limu comments that their attributes are not strong, but there are many and there must be at least around 100 wolves. He notes that ordinary meso professionals and the team of 5 people would not be able to deal with so many wolves from the mine at once, and Mu realizes that as a necromancer these wild wolves from the mine will be a good source of experience for him. When eliminating some of them activates corpse explosion ability. Then Limu comments that after improving the corpse explosion damage talent, it becomes 100% of the wild wolf's total health, resulting in their instant death. Shortly afterwards the boys appear, but El Moyu activates his explosion ability. Corpses again, causing heavy damage to real Lope or eliminating him. Because eliminating him, Limu receives only 15,000 boys experience, and he comments that the experience is low and that it's worth 5 ferocious wolves. He also comments, "We have a lot of value for money. The experience gained is very little, but at least the items dropped are valuable." Then Lim orders his skeletons to continue cleaning the area and will soon find the final boys. You comment that in the future, when exploring an infernal level danger alone, the experience obtained should be even greater. Limu comments that the journey through Zhou from start to finish took a little over an hour and that he will be able to level up another time efficiently. He calculates that after a few dice, he will be able to reach level 16 or even level 19. So Limu comments that he will meet his sister soon. Finally, Limu finds the final boss, who is the Goblin King, but he realizes that he is sleeping. Li Moyu decides to wake him up, thinking that he will probably reach level 12 after eliminating him. When checking the boy's attributes, he realizes that they are actually quite high, especially his strength and constitution compared to his skeletons. However, the boys wake up and launch an attack on Limu, taking it from surprise. Your damage transfer ability is activated, causing all damage to be absorbed by the skeletons, eliminating with just one. Limu attack then realizes that the boy's attack resulted in a decrease of 2 skeletons. He understands that his own attributes are very weak, with the constitution of only 120 points, and the makes his defense very fragile compared to the Goblin King, who has 3,000 strength points. He also realizes that the damage transferred will be greater than your skeletons can withstand. This leads to understanding that your own weak point is himself and that he needs to improve his constitution. Limu recognizes that although his skeletons cannot face directly the boys in terms of strength, he has an army to use after launching several attacks against the final boys. Leo comments that if he continues like this, the final boss will be crushed by his army of skeletons. After receiving several attacks, the final boss uses his shockwave ability that pushes all the skeletons towards far away. I immediately realize that this skill is much more powerful than the Wolf King's roar. The boss continues to make several attacks using the fire breath skill, leaving the health of the skeletons extremely low. Worried, Limu orders them to return to the summoning space. He comments that he will have to interrupt this ability of the boys, otherwise all skeletons will be eliminated. Final boys tries to attack Li Moyu, but he quickly activates his ability, calls a soul that takes 40 poses of your spiritual power. After reaching the final boss, your guard is down, allowing Limu to order his skeletons to attack. Since the boss doesn't have much life left, Moyu realizes that needs to defeat the boss quickly, so he orders his skeletons to use furious blow skill making, with which they finally manage to eliminate the final limo boys, then receive 40,000 experience and 3 items such as rewards Bro-level Goblin Sword, Bro-level Wisdom Cloak, and Goblin King Core. After receive all this experience, Limu reaches level 12 and comments that thank God his spiritual power was restored because he had completely used everything in this fight. He decides that it is time to leave the Dangel because it is not more monster. Before leaving, Limu decides to use the mono he had dropped because although necromancy is considered a magical profession, his skills are very different from the wizard. He notes that the cloak cooldown reduction will not be very useful for him, but it will still increase his spiritual and physical power by another 10, and that is not bad at all. Analyzing the nucleus, he obtained comments that it must be worth at least 10,000, and that it is equivalent to the price of 2 equipment. He recognizes that the Dangel rewards are really good after leveling up and restoring all. His Limu spirit can summon 4 more skeletons. Once again satisfied with his achievement, he decides to leave the Danjo outside the D. Other players are impressed to see El Molu come out alive. Does anyone recognize the mantle that he is using as the mantle of wisdom? Everyone is incredulous because Limu had managed to complete the Dango alone, something that seemed inimaginable. They comment on how the young man was able to accomplish this feat when Li Molu passes among the players, leaving them impressed with their skeletons, and comments that it's time for DJ to open. Again 12 hours, and he notes that hunting wild animals outside the DJ is of little experience, as killing 10 of them is not even equivalent to the Danjo monster. Deciding to take advantage of the waiting time, Leo chooses to meditate to recover all his spiritual power. PR meditation. He realizes that Naden had already discovered his greatest weakness and also better understood how his skills work, and shares that if he knows how to use his corpse explosion abilities properly, she becomes incredibly powerful. In addition to Soul Flame ability, not only interrupts enemy abilities but also ignores the opponent's defense. Reflects that even nightmare level boss will not be able to defend against this skill after 12 p.m. Waiting, Limo realizes that he can now summon 4 more skeleton warriors. When he returns to Enano, he notices that there are other players gathered outside the jungle, which makes him think that these players appear to be experienced since the area is dangerous. Limu starts to wonder about Ai's whereabouts since it has been some time since the last time he saw her. When he approaches the Jo Limu, he notices an argument between the group of players and the guild. Dynasty players are arguing that the guild has no right to prevent them from joining the gel because it is not the exclusive property of the guild. So the players claim that entering the guild does not affect it. Nothing in the Jo Guild. GI member of the Dynasty Guild responds that their leader is completing a mission inside the gel. Until he leaves, no one can enter. The player disagrees and suddenly accuses GUID of Dynasty of abusing power. Joao G attacks the player, throwing him away, eliminating him, leaving the others frightened players. He manages the reason for the player's elimination. The members of the Dynasty Guide simply responds that it doesn't matter and challenges anyone who has the courage to take revenge. When Limu approaches him, asks what's going on, one of the impressed players comments that this is the guy who completed Dango alone. Then he begins to explain to El Moyu that the guild dynasty is in need of the Goblin King's core, but however, the drop-do-it rate is very low and it is only dropped at nightmare level and appears only once every 100 days. Exactly today it has been 100 days since the last time the nucleus was obtained, which is why they are blocking entry. Dangel and the guild leader is killing all the monsters inside Dangel, not allowing anyone else. Between the mission to get the Goblin King's core, it was started by the Dynasty Guild, but so far no one has managed it. Complete It Rec comments that he considers the reward they placed a joke because the value of the core is 30,000 and they only offer 10,000 as a reward, and emphasize that only a sucker could sell the core for one value so low. Imu, so he thinks it's a coincidence that D got this item. Soon after, he asks the man, what is the use of this item? The man explains that it can be transformed into a Goblin King ring, and when using it, all attributes increase by 10 and all skill levels increase by 1. However, the item can be used after level 15, and this is the strongest accessory available until level 40 MO, so you think this ring is quite powerful for the beginner, as it seems to be a very strong accessory to have 6 Molio heads towards the entrance and comments that whatever they want, the guild is hindering their level up, a desperate man. He asks Limo to stop and come back quickly because he is unable to help him face the Gu Dynasty JJ. Steps on the player that L had been eliminated, making a point of showing everyone other than US to approach otherwise. Will have the same fate as one of the players approaching very Moyu ask if he. Moyu also came to die with a dark look and orders him to get out of the way as they are blocking his passage. The guild members start laughing and kick the man's body away. They also ask Limu if he has any problem and questions who he thinks he is talking to. Limu simply repeats his order ordering him to leave. From entry JJ, when analyzing Limu's status, he realizes that he is a level 12 necromancer. He immediately asks what kind of necromancer profession, so JJI says that he molested a beginner and that he must kill monsters outside the dances, so he asks why Limu would like to join the players' dance. I asked Limu to come back, warning that the guild of Chia always wants to be right in everything and doesn't hesitate to eliminate anyone who gets in his way. Guild members comment that Limo's look made him feel nervous. He wonders why he is feeling this, and he also wonders why Limo. He doesn't even show fear in facing them. Limo is approaching and he says that if he takes one more step he will be eliminated right there. However, Limu continues walking and all guild members state that they want to eliminate Limu. Then Limu orders his skeletons. Attack. Jory quickly activated a barrier and Zom saying that no one at level 12 like Limu will be able to break it. His defense, even if he stands still and lets his monster attack. I received the attack. Janji's barrier starts to crack, which makes you wonder what kind of summoned creature this is and why is he so strong, and question that his shield can withstand 5 blows from a professional of the same level. T realizes that after the skeleton's attack he must withstand at most one more blow. Mew then orders his skeleton to take the furious blow. Realizing that it cannot manage to resist the attack, Jorge activates the fire repulsion ring, throwing a warrior away. Then Jorge wonders what his GR members are doing and orders them to quickly attack the knight. Comments that he will destroy all Limu summons, but what he didn't expect is that the skeleton warrior is much stronger than him, throwing him away, and he wonders how a creature like that has so much strength against him because he is a knight. Joao Jaitan orders him to attack the summoner because if he manages to eliminate him all the creatures will disappear. The archers quickly throw their arrows at Limu, commenting that if he hears Challenge Dynasty must prepare to die. When the flasks are about to hit Moyu, he summons more skeleton that defends the attack, leaving the archers scared. JJI scared asks how Lu Moyo can summon more than one skeleton. He asks the warriors to buy time for him to activate his serpent dance ability of fire. The other players who observe it comment that this skill is very strong and that it is not currently a fire mage. Level 20. He also explains that only 3 mages can achieve this ability, being one of the strongest attacks of the level 20 mages. Then they comment that Limu is in danger. J hurry, sure that Limu will be eliminated now. Or else TJ. The skeletons are scared because they haven't been eliminated and are still attacking. J quickly orders everyone to get into formation and then attack the support. Start buffing the DPS. G comments that his guild is experienced and knows how to work as a team and that the Gu Dynasty is invincible, and Molu looks back and asks the other players stay away as it could be very dangerous for them. Then Limia activates the ability, calling the soul by hitting the archer or quickly panicking the members of the guild. Asks the healers for healing. However, the healer did not expect that the archer had already been eliminated, leaving JJ extremely scared. He can't shake the fact that his guide is being defeated by a single person, so he orders the skeletons attack all together. The desperate knight activates his shield, but the skeleton warriors activate their furious blow ability, breaking the knight's defense. Desperate JJ asks the support to use his blessings to defend the knight as he will be eliminated as the defense is broken. The knight realizes that he is being surrounded by a flame similar to that of the archer, which leaves him desperate, asking for help from the supports. However, are too late and he is eliminated. Joao Gi, desperate, says that his training was broken and orders everyone to run, stating that the man who is attacking is not human. Limu responds that there is nowhere to escape and activates your ability. Since you've come this far, Subscribe to the channel and leave a like to bring more videos to you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.